He said, if you tell anyone who gave you this information, I will find you and I will bring you out here and I will feed you to the wild boars. I think he was serious.
Hi, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to A2A, Author to Author with Terri. And this month's special featured author is best-selling and multi-award winning author, DiAnn Mills. Now, if you're wondering where she is, she's off in the wings because I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping first. And so it's just basically, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. DiAnn's new book, Lethal Standoff, I think it's probably my best so far because her next book might be my favorite. But let's get the word out. And we were talking a little earlier, and she said that the book is already on the bestseller list for ECPA. So we're excited. And so we want more and more people to be able to read this book. And it's really good. We're going to talk about that. So if you haven't subscribed, be sure and check that red subscribe button. And when the little white bell shows up, just click on that and you won't miss any future episodes. So are you ready to meet this feisty, talented, amazing, inspiring author who is quite an adventurer? Well, here we go. It's DiAnn Mills. Welcome, DiAnn.
There I am. Hi, Terri. Wow,
Hi.
this is so fun. I love the introduction. I'm going to can it. In fact, I think we should go on the road together. We would have way too much fun.
I agree. We would be talking into the night, I'll tell you.
Oh, yes. So thank you again. I'm thrilled to be a guest today. I'm thrilled to visit with you. And all of you wonderful people out there, don't forget to like and comment. That just makes Terri absolutely beam, and I kind of like it too. So be sure and do that for us.
So, DiAnn, you are so busy and putting out these incredible books every year. And how do my viewers and my readers keep in touch with you?
Well, my website is my online resource. It's like my business card for readers and writers, and that's at DiAnnMills.com. And DiAnn is DiAnn Mills.com. That's me. And all of my platforms are there. Just click and you'll go right to me. And they're featuring The Lethal Standoff, which was my September release. Promoting this book has been so fun, but I always have fun because I love meeting new people and catching up with friends and hugging necks and grabbing coffee and just having a great time.
Well, I see you have been making the run at a lot of bookstores. So that's exciting because that's really when you get to meet people and chat with them.
I was so blessed 2 weeks ago at a new Barnes & Noble that just opened in September. And so, everything smells like fresh wooden books and coffee and wide aisles. It is like a bookstore dream. And I was very, very blessed with those who showed up, those who chatted, one, and the distance they came to just meet up and say hello. That it was a true blessing.
It really is, because, this is why we do what we do. It's to connect with readers and, because we think about them when we're writing. So it's nice to put a face to those thoughts.
Oh yeah. And I can meet you online via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What else do I have? YouTube, LinkedIn, Pinterest, BookBub, Goodreads, all of those ways. Email too. But to see you face to face, there's just nothing like it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I just kind of glow all inside when that happens.
I see it in the photos that you post. It's great. Well, oops, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, before I forget it, that if you go to my website, you can subscribe to my weekly blog post, which is basically just for readers. So I don't want to say it's kind of all over the place, but we readers have different likes and different things that make us laugh. And so I just try to put life into that blog post. And if you subscribe, you get a download of a 9-day devotional called Expect an Adventure with God.
We're going to get into some of your adventures too. I'm impressed. So just a reminder, down below in the description section are all of those links that DiAnn is talking about, and also a link to the blog interview, which has different questions and photos and other great things. Also, where to purchase Lethal Standoff, which is important. So, DiAnn, Lethal Standoff was like having a literary whiplash because it's like, and then I was thinking of LeBlanc, was his name? Benoit Blanc.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where he talks about that it's a donut hole within a donut hole within a donut hole, but it was like a thriller within a mystery within a mystery within a thriller. So it was amazing. So, and that's what I love about your stories.
I'm a bit of a wild child, always have been, even at my age, I'm still a bit of a wild child, but I can live my life vicariously through all these characters, and I can laugh with them, I can cry with them, I can wow with them, I can be out of breath with them, and I just love it. And one of the ways that I can do that is to make sure that I interview those characters, not those characters, real people who have the careers or the beliefs or walk this path that is totally unusual, and I'm going to do it. If I can walk their path, I'm going to walk it. If I can interview them, I'm going to interview them. And like with Lethal Standoff, what did I know about negotiations? Well, I took a 15-week video class from Chris Voss on Masterclass on negotiation, hostage negotiation. Oh, loved it. And interviewed others. And then the idea that my hero could be Messianic Jew. What all did that mean? And the fact that he was an investigative journalist, what all did that mean? So I'm out there talking and I'm just having a great time with more information than I would ever need. But I learned something, and I love it. I love what I do. I'm truly blessed.
Shows, it really does show. And just a little remark about having the Messianic Jewish love interest. Um, it means so much. My husband and I have been a part of the Messianic movement for over 25 years. So I have longed to see Messianic protagonists and love interests, or even just secondary characters in a contemporary novel. So it was just, it was so great. As soon as I read as soon as I said I read Levi Erlich, it was like, wonder, did she do it? And you did. Thank you. And thank you, Tyndale. So, as I mentioned in the top picks, this book deals with another really important subject, and that is human trafficking. And I just wanted to get how that became such an important part of your story.
One of the biggest controversial issues today is the undocumented immigrants, number one. Number two, it doesn't touch on how so many of them are tricked, deceived, betrayed, caught up in human trafficking, and they don't know it till they get here. And it is slavery. It is slavery of any type, morally, spiritually, physically. Oh, it's wrong. And those who have been chained to obey others or face death dehumanizes people. The depression, the lack of confidence, innate freedoms, and often suicide, it comes right with it. And it's our duty. I feel it's our responsibility as Christians and moral people to do our best to see it's eliminated. And for those who aren't moved spiritually by it, think about this. And we all learned this in school, that all human beings are born with three natural innate needs: relationships, significance, and security. And when someone is trafficked, they're denied all of them.
All of that.
And I'm passionate about freedom
Amen.
for people to be who God purposed them to be.
Amen. And that's who God is. God is all about justice. He is all about freedom and restoration. And if you want to touch the heart of God, you work on those areas. And that's one of the things too that the Jewish people from, for thousands and thousands of years, they have been all about justice, not just for themselves, but also for others. They walked in the civil rights movement. They are all about justice. And I loved how you incorporated that into Levi's character, which was very authentic. So I read the first paragraph of Lethal Standoff and on my top picks episode, but I'll tell you what, it's okay if I read it, but my viewers love having the author read their story. So I was just wondering if you would do that for us.
I would love to do that. And I'll keep it within the confines so that I'm not too long, but just enough to give the listener viewer a little flavor. And okay, thank you, Terri. Chapter 1 begins in Carrington's point of view. My role as a hostage negotiator often lunged me into the evil designs of the human mind. I embrace the responsibility and possible danger because it's my identity. A one-woman battlefront determined to free others from victimization. The challenge excited me, but fear of failure stalked me, and respect for human life was my constant companion. Too often, innocent lives depended on my ability to negotiate their safe release without anyone getting hurt. The demands, the rewards, and sometimes the defeats with tragic outcomes kept me awake at night. How could I have done things differently? My apprenticeship began when I was 8 years old, but thinking about those days didn't change the past. Right now, lives were in jeopardy. I'd driven 10 minutes out from a critical situation on a Wednesday afternoon when my cell phone rang. My contact, a detective from the Houston Police Department, had spent several hours talking to an angry man who held his wife and son hostage. Carrington, we have the information you requested, Detective Aaron Peters said. The man inside the home is the owner, Nick Henderson, age 35, married to Christine. He's holding his wife and 8-year-old son at gunpoint. Yesterday, he was served divorce papers, and we believe this is in retaliation. Hurt, rejected, probably a lit stick of dynamite. You talked to him from the outside? We've routed his calls through our mobile command center. I tried talking to him, got nowhere. He hung up on me. Aaron blew out his frustration. Domestic calls were the most dangerous, often violent, causing me to appreciate my Kevlar vest. I had a handgun in my purse, but I could count on one hand the times I pulled it. Never used it. All right, I'm nearly there. SWAT in place? Yes, to have clear shots, not an action I want to take unless necessary. Me either. What are Henderson's demands? Just to leave him alone or he'll pull the trigger on his family. Cool, calm focus settled on me. My ability to mediate critical discussions depended on my wearing emotional blinders to the outside world. When did the problem start? The wife phoned 911 at 8 a.m. today. I don't know how long he was there before she reached out to us. We've been called here twice in the past month for domestic abuse. I glanced at my watch and it neared 4 p.m. Have HPD negotiators been talking to him? Yes, Henderson hung up on them too. He's drinking, slurring his words, seems to have trouble concentrating. Alcohol could make him volatile. Flashing lights appeared on the residential street ahead. I'm parking now. Give me 5 minutes. I'm standing beside my car in front of the house. Aaron, do you have Henderson's work history? Fired 3 months ago from Home Depot, where he held a management role. They walked him out of the store in front of his employees. The man definitely had nothing to lose. So, I live my stories. I'm sorry, but I see myself as Carrington and I'm out there on the street. Later on, I slip my feet into Levi and any other point of view characters. It's like the shofar blew, DiAnn. It's time to go.
And the shofar is a ram's horn, and it is used in synagogues around the world. So, but it is a call. It's a rally call. So I can tell, DiAnn. That's one of the reasons why I love your books is you're in there and you're cheering those characters on. So my dear, so what are you working on now?
Well, I finished the line edits last week for a book. It's scheduled for September 2025. It's titled Canyon of Deceit.
Ooh.
A survival expert and a Texas Ranger trek into an off-the-grid, desolate area to free a 7-year-old little girl who's held hostage to silence her Russian father from revealing terrorist information. And I have to giggle with this. You know how I am, Terri. I just have to go and be and do. So this takes place in the Guadalupe Mountains of West Texas. In fact, the area is called Dog Canyon. It's off the grid, and we had to fly into New Mexico, Hobbs, New Mexico, to even get to where I set the stage for the story in Texas. And I'm telling you, the moment we started on that road, and talk about desolate, talk about cattle going back and forth or wildlife, I was so glad that neither one of us got sick or we didn't have car trouble, because who knows what we would have done. But the area had this desolate beauty that it was just a joy to experience. So that is that book. And I'm brainstorming the one after that. So I'm always thinking story.
Now, have you written, I can't remember, have you written series before? Because most of the books that I've read were all standalones.
These are all standalone. It's just the three of them in that 3 contract were all about negotiators. Let's see, 2 were female and one was a male. There are different types of negotiation, different personalities, how they incorporate what is needed, the empathy they show, just in different settings, different types of plot.
Love it, love it. So, with my blog interviews, we ask certain questions, but I always like to do something a little different with the YouTube interviews. So I like to ask different questions. And one of the questions I asked DiAnn is, what are some things about you that most people don't know?
I'm mostly transparent, mostly. There's something wired into my DNA that must be afraid, be very afraid. So I'm not afraid to take a step into the unknown. I like a challenge, no matter what that challenge might be. And I'm always challenging myself. And while some women my age are living in memories, I'm making them. I am still making them. And it usually has a potential book woven into that. And well, I'll get to this in just a minute, but I thought I would just give you just maybe 3 of the things that I've done, maybe more, that show how I embrace challenges. And I have just a little bit of that daredevil streak in all 5'2", 108 pounds of me. So here we go. I've traveled to southern Sudan by myself
By
to
yourself?
research. Yes. There was supposed to be another person to go with me, but at the last minute they had to cancel, and I wasn't going to cancel. So my husband did some searching online and found a woman from Kenya, and we're still very close friends, who had a ministry of going into Sudan, and she was, but she was rooted in Kenya, in Nairobi. So I flew into Nairobi, met her for the first time, spent a night in a home where like missionaries come in, and then we flew on into Juba, southern Sudan, and my eyes were opened, just open. Out of that was a nonfiction book titled Lost Boy No More, and I wrote that with another young man at the time, Abraham Neal, and just so fortunate that he had been on 2 episodes of 60 Minutes. And so he was just the perfect young man to write that book with. And he came to my home later, and he calls me mom. I call him son. So I guess that's it. And then I also wrote two novels that while I was there. My husband learned about some of my escapades, and he said, never again without him. And one of the
Wise.
fun, yeah. Oh, one of the funny things that happened when I got home, I had a, just 3-month-old granddaughter, first time. And I was holding her and I said, Grace, when you are 12 years old, I'm going to take you to Africa. My son says, not without me, you're not. And so that never happened. But one of the things he said to me, he says, Mom, you are a grandmother now. You need to settle down. So I said, what do you want me to do? And I said, do you want me to sit on the back patio in a rocking chair and bake cookies and gain 20 pounds? And he, blah, 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 blah. Yes. I said, do you know who Shirley MacLaine is? He said, yeah. I said, think Shirley MacLaine, and your mama's not slowing down. So it never happened. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness. Driving along a washed out road in the Rockies of Colorado on a hairpin curve. That was scary, but I did it. And I was so glad. And I can't remember the book that went into, but it did. Another time, I've ridden the line with the Border Patrol in McAllen, Texas. I am in Houston in case y'all don't know that. I called DC, I got permission, and so spent 3 days with them when I wrote a book titled Sworn to Protect. Actually, it won a Christie, so God was in that. And anyway, it was just so fun riding with this Border Patrol agent in his Jeep. He told me about the things that he liked, the things he didn't like, care they have to take to protect families. But we stopped, and my husband was talking to him, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go down to the riverbank. So I did. And pretty soon I heard this, and it was the agent. He took my arm. He says, ma'am, don't you know that it's dangerous to be standing? No, I didn't. I was enjoying the view and see if I could see what was on the other side. So I've done that. I've taken Houston's FBI Citizens Academy, and 3 books came out of that. I've also taken the Citizens ATF. That was wonderful. I love those. They're not necessarily dangerous, but they're fun, and the information gathered is incredible. For one of my birthdays, never mind which one because I'm old, my family and I, we went to the Rockies. So I just love the Rockies. And I zip lined.
Wow.
And that was, I love that. I want to do parasailing before it's all over with, but I zip lined. And then we went hiking. And at the time, was she 7 or 8-year-old granddaughter and I decided we were going to be the first to the top. So we were. But one of the funny things that happened was that night we were all having dinner, and my son, who's, being the dad and the son, said, we're going to go around the table and we're going to ask everybody what it is about Mimi that they value or love the most. Well, I got to my grandson, who at the time was 12, and he says, you're not like anybody else's grandma ever. I said, is that good? He says, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. So anyway, those are just a couple of things that I have done. I remember talking to a treasure hunter in West Texas when I was writing a book. I can't even remember the name of it. It was about Spider Rock treasure, and he was giving me some insight about the legends about this treasure that the Spanish buried somewhere in this area.
The conquistadors.
Yes. He said, if you tell anyone who gave you this information. I will find you and I will bring you out here and I will feed you to the wild boars. I think he was serious. But I've had lots of fun. Yeah, a few hair-raising experiences, but that just gave me a few more gray hairs of wisdom. So anyway, I probably told you more than what you wanted to know, but those are a few of the
Well,
things that
it's
challenge me.
yeah, I was just going to say that you've challenged me, because I hit the 7-0 and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm old. I'm 10 years from now I'll be 80. And then I meet people like you and it's like, oh no, honey, this is life. You need to live it.
Ah,
So
yes, I was 70 when I went ziplining. That's what I wanted to do for my birthday. Um, and done a few things since then too, but you got to do it. You just cannot let life pass you by. You just inhale, this is the life God's given me, and exhale the fear and doubt and just go do it.
oh, I love it. I love it. So on that note, um, this month's giveaway is DiAnn's latest book, Lethal Standoff, and you've heard her read about it, but I got to tell you, there's that intense, 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 and then it's only like a third of the book, and then all of a sudden you get this whole new scenario that's intense, intense, intense. So it is just page turner, and find a comfy chair, wrap yourself in a blanket because you're going to be there for a while. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
so DiAnn has graciously provided a paperback copy or soft cover. I guess Tyndale calls it a soft cover.
Stop. Yeah.
That is signed by her, or if you prefer to have an ebook, she'll be happy to provide that as well. So thank you, DiAnn.
You're quite welcome. And if the person who receives the giveaway, if you want that personalized to you, just let me know.
That means a lot. That means a lot. So if you're looking for opportunities to increase the number of entries for this giveaway, all you have to do is to like, comment, share, subscribe, both on the YouTube interview and also on the blog interview. And you can get up to 6 entries into the giveaway, which is pretty cool. And then the drawing will be held Friday, October 24th. And by the way, if you're already a subscriber to the YouTube channel and to my newsletter, as long as you comment, then you'll get those extra entries. But please share and like. It really does help get the word out on DiAnn's book, which is so good. So DiAnn, do you have any final words, some exhortations?
I'm thinking here. Yes, I do. I want to challenge everyone out there to step out of your comfort zone.
Mm.
What is God asking of you? But you continue to ignore him. Maybe you're afraid, maybe you're thinking, no, not me. But embrace what you feel. Okay, I am afraid. I don't have the skills. But you can do what you feel is the impossible with God's help. So pray for wisdom and direction. Make a plan. Seek resources and follow through. No matter what your fears, God has a plan to bless you.
Mm.
Oh, I kind of feel like Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you will go when you follow God's calling. And
Amen.
that's what I want for everyone. No one wants to say, I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd said I loved you. I
Mm.
wish I'd ziplined. So many things. I wish I'd written a book. I wished I'd climbed to the top of Mount Everest. Whatever it is, it's better to have tried and say, I didn't quite make it, than never to have tried at all. But listen to what God's telling you.
Mm. 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 Thank you. I'm taking that in myself.
I'm just being DiAnn, just like you're just being Terri. And if God's got a purpose for you, I can't say enough. Say
Well, but
yes
you're
to
being
that purpose.
fully DiAnn. You know, I'm like half speed Terry. So
Yeah.
I need to climb the mountain. I need to ford the stream. So yeah.
Mhm. You need to come to Houston. I could get you into all kinds of
Trouble.
predicaments. Trouble, yes. Yeah.
Well, so thank you so much, viewers, for watching the 46th episode of Author to Author. And just a reminder that those links are down below in the description section. And as always, DiAnn and I really do appreciate those likes and those comments and those follows and those subscribes. So actually, it's not next month. So next month, we're going to be moving into our new house in Illinois. So, and I love the new house. It's totally a God thing. Just never expected a house like this. So, all that to say, in December, my featured author will be Robin Jones Gunn, and that woman travels too. You two need to get together.
I know Robin. She's amazing.
Yeah, she started a new sisterhood kind of series. So I'm fan of the sister chicks. Um, so DiAnn, thanks for being my very special guest.
Oh, you're
I've
so welcome. I loved it. I thank you.
Well, it was my pleasure, believe me. So, viewers, thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, God bless and keep reading.
Reading.